Okay, so with all those discussions, we now reached to the last session, and definitely we are here to explore how ORAN can contribute to the sustainability or a to sustainable agriculture practices and enhance connectivity in rural areas and foster innovation for the benefit of farmers and communities worldwide. Now, throughout the discussion, we aim to shed light on the potential of ORAN in revolutionizing the way we approach agriculture and how it can empower us to create a more resilient, efficient, and prosperous community. Now, before we proceed with the panel discussion. If I may request, Dr. I believe you prepared your presentation, Dr. Leah of TELU, to give first her presentation.
Okay, I already have the slide. Do you have the slide? So if you don't have one, maybe we can start with the discussion.
Okay. Okay then. So with that, let's proceed with the first question, as it's just the same question with what was given with the other sectors. If you could please provide information on your ongoing community network initiatives, specifically in the field of agriculture. I believe you mentioned some of your projects this morning. If we could start first with Dr. Leah and then followed by Sir Joseph.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. So because the use case is come from Indonesia, so the biggest labor in Indonesia, there are 40 million worker in agriculture. So the smart agriculture is very important in Indonesia. So that's why we have a partnership with the Ministry of Investment, how we solve the problem, especially in the agriculture. What we do for the agriculture is about digital transformation and create about the smart agriculture. So the use case that we already create is by integrated using the Open RAN in Sumatra, using by the Open RAN and also Open Wi-Fi. We in Polung area. So this smart agriculture is using for the farmers in that field, and not only build the infrastructure using the Open RAN, but also we bring the use case that this is can sustainability used by the farmer over there. So that's the latest use case that we already done in Indonesia.
Okay, thank you. Now, in the case of the Philippines, we believe that the Department of Agriculture is still holding on to that quotation that transforming Philippine agriculture during COVID-19 and beyond for sustainability and resilience. So if you could also share to us with the case of the ERI.
ERI, as for those who don't know ERI is an international rice research institute, and it is based here in the Philippines in Los Baños, Laguna. So at ERI, so since we started in 1960, so we are already 63 years old, we have a lot of research conducted specifically on rice or rice-based cropping systems. And with this, we generated a lot of data, and one of the richness that we maintain is the database that we have. And also with this, we were able to develop several digital tools that our researchers and scientists use, and also being outscale or scaled out to countries where we are working, especially in Asia and Africa. So one case that I can mention is the for example is the rice crop manager. This is a digital tool on rice crop management in the production system. So it is well scaled out in the Philippines. Also, we have this tool is has also a version in Indonesia and I think India or Odisha as a certain state in India. So what this tool is all about is that it the farmers is asked for several questions, 5 to 15 questions, and then after that, using a mobile phone or computer, the farmers can be given by recommendations for fertilizer, for water management, and other pesticide or crop care. And this is, as I said, it can be web based or a mobile application. So I'm not quite familiar yet on the run or open run system. So but I'm sure since our tools, also have other digital tools or IoT devices that were developed by ERI in partnership with other countries like the Philippines. So I'm sure that we are somehow using the run or open run system, but I'm just not aware at some point.
Okay, thank you, sir. It would be a follow-up question on you, and then since you are still not into run, Dr. Leah would be sharing more of the impact of applying run in their on their side or on their endeavor. But for ERI, as of the moment, even if you are implementing IoT already in our agriculture, what are still the challenges that we have with what current technology that you're using?
For the case of what I've said, the rice crop manager, one of the limitation, even at the start, is the connectivity, connectivity of farmers. When we started it in 2012 or 2010, we started from a software, so it's a standalone software. And then when we saw that the problem on updating, so we developed a mobile application so that we can update it uh, online. And then with the rapid development of technology, and right now, in some farmers, even in areas that are many areas are still farmers don't have uh, that high connectivity or the connectivity is problematic. So in those cases, what we are doing is that the municipal agriculturists or the technicians are they go to the farmers, they collect the information or questions, and then when they reach their offices where they have connectivity, so they can run the questions and then get the recommendation and go back to the farmers. So although there are some delays, but still they were able to use the technology and provide the information to farmers.
Um, are those applications already cascaded to the different provinces in all the regions, sir?
Uh, Rice Crop Manager is now under DA, so we transition the database or the technology to the Department of Agriculture since 2020. So it's now being run by the Department of Agriculture. In other countries, right now we have a project in Indonesia where it's now being scaled out with partners like Nestle
And in addition, there are actually some startups who are already implementing their projects. Um, there is a robotic. I believe there's an AI, Archie, if I'm not mistaken. They have been using it until as far as the Cordilleras, and it's still ongoing with their test cases. Nonetheless, we'll be proceeding with Dr. Liat if she could share what would be the impact on those three. Would it be the same scenario on those other areas that you have been applying or run?
Okay, so maybe I will explain first with the example of smart agriculture that we already create until now. So one of them, we call it retail mo. Retail mo is using an IoT to capturing the cow. So the farmer don't have to go to the farm every day or maybe hour by hour. But with IoT, we can capturing the weight of the cow. So this is will increase the productivity of the farmer, and also this is will reduce the cost. That's the one we call it retail mall, the AI IoT for the cow. And this is can also using for others, like in Indonesia, in Sumatra Island, we are very famous with the palm oil. So this is also can capturing which one of the trees that we can, the good one or the bad one or something like that. And the other smart agriculture that we already create is the drone. The drone to know about the tea plantation. So the drone will go covering all the field. Usually the farmer have to separate in several area in the group, in small group. Yeah, starting for early in the morning, they have to go to the tea plantation to take several tea plantation until midnight. But right now is only using the drone. And also other application, maybe this quite similar. This is to know about what kind of the plan and how the condition. This is only using the apps, and then we will find out the result. And the other one is something like the autonomous for the smart farming. So this is several use case that we still develop until now. But the first one, the retail mo, and then smart farming is already integrated, trying integrated using by the open. So basically, this is will increase, like I mentioned, about the productivity, and then reducing the cost, and then also reduce the emission of the smart agriculture. But on the other side, we're talking also about the people, about the farmer itself. So usually the farmer is quite hard to use the technology. Even we maybe put the infrastructure and develop infrastructure over there, and then with also many agriculture solution, but they will be using it for sustainability. This is something that we cannot go, we cannot create something in that village and then we go back to the city again, but we have to like mentor, to do like a mentorship program, and then we call it like talent, digital talent pool program. So the young talent who come from that village, they the one who will develop and using this new technology.
I'm supposed to ask that as to how you motivate people in using this technology or infrastructure or tools that we have. Because even if we keep on talking about smart agriculture, um, Sir Joseph have also mentioned that there are really several farmers who are somewhat not just because of the connectivity, but on the mindset, as you mentioned, that it would really be a challenge. And I believe this was also mentioned on all the other sectors that already passed through this afternoon session. Okay. Now, if in that case, what other move is the Department of Agriculture, specifically on your unit, as to how you motivate these farmers, not just on the connectivity or absence of connectivity, but more on changing their mindset on using this technology?
It's really quite a challenge to change. Even here, some of our colleagues that in adopting the technology, you must see first what will you benefit or what is your benefit. And for the case of the tools that we are promoting or developing and then scaling out to our NARIS partners, it depends on the countries. We have different cultures, but most of I think the similarities among these are the youth. So those who are um, son and daughters or the children of the farmers. So it's one way to encourage them or to disseminate the information to them that hey, we have these uh, tools that can help you improve your production system or increase your yield and have more profit. So if farmers hear that it will increase their profit, it will create something in their mind. So it's always boils down into that reality. But yeah, another one is that I forgot, slip on my mind. Um, I'll pass first to this.
Okay. Just to share what we do in Benguet State University is that we make use, since not just Indonesia or other countries who are really having agriculture as its strength for existence, or to have a better um, econo- economic status. What we do in Benguet State University is that we let our DevCom students with their instructor to really mainstream from the grassroots, on creating materials and talking to them. As you mentioned, make use of the young generation. And currently, as we do it, it's very effective because the older generation do not understand the printed materials that are given to them, even if other institutions go to their localities, far-flung areas, and then if you would just be giving them the flyers or brochures, they do not understand it, even if you have pictures. So talking to them in their dialect. So communication is really more important in the way that they would understand it. Um, Wherein technology would also be used because films or movies that are created by the students themselves, where they could see the impact of these technologies, documentaries, okay, and as such.
Can I add
Yes,
something?
please.
Okay. So in Telkom University, we also have a program. We call it Engineering Community Services Program. So this is involved between the lecturers and or the researchers and also the student. The student not only from Telkom University, but this is the mobility program. So the student from Korea, and then from Malaysia, and then from Southeast Africa, and some of them come from Japan and come from US. Uh, they come to our campus, and then we go to one village to do the community services. And in the beginning, they have to talk, do the communication with the people over there to know about the real problem. Usually, because most of the Indonesian people working for the agriculture, so the problem is about the solution for the agriculture. So this is like a 3 months program. This is like a credit earning program. So the student have to stay over there for 3 months and make a solution. Usually on the end of the program, they will create something. This is just a beginning, like a feasibility studies to create the more better program, the better products. So after that, they can go back to their home countries and then develop it in the research center with the researchers. And then this is already been 3 years. So we have several things like a potato machine, automatic potato machine for the farmers. And then also we have something like I mentioned, the autonomous smart farming is an easy way, but the people, usually the farmers, they have interest to try it in the beginning. But after that, we continue the program by putting we call it the patriot, the village patriots. The village patriot is our student where they come from that village. So this student will continuing the program and helping the farmers to using the product. And also in our campus, we have the incubator center. This incubator center helping to commercialization the products and then also helping to increasing the income of the farmers. So we have the program for SMEs also. So this is like an end-to-end program. From the user in the beginning, the farmer is the user in the beginning, but at the end, the farmers will be the producer of the product.
Yes, sir.
Just to add on that, one approach also that we are doing is to promote to using local champions, same as like the patriots, because mostly farmers. I'm not sure if this is true with other countries, but in the Philippines, for example, to see is to believe. So if you are promoting some technologies, there are farmers that are risk takers. So those are the local champions that we are targeting, and we develop them. We uh, enhance their capacity or use them as the promoter of the innovations that we develop.
Okay, so that's great to hear. I just want to ask on the case of Indonesia, like is Telco a state university in your area? Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Are those best practices that you apply in your university similar to what other universities do? I mean, if it's a standard or if it's common practice to all universities or only for state universities?
No, because we also under the APERTI. APERTI is there's like a consortium universities in Indonesia. So there are around 15 members university around inside the communities. So this is not only with Telkom University, but also implemented in several others university. But some of them that because our background in telecommunication, so some of the project will lead the program, but the members is come from the others university members.
So reflecting as to what was shared, for us to have sustainability and resilience, there should be a common or a standard practice to all or across all universities and institutions. Partnership with LGUs, as mentioned during the presentation. I believe in the Philippines, there's also a consortium of different universities and in partnership with the LGUs, because CLSU is also a partner of Benguet State University and MMSU with ERI, because you also have a unit incorporated in the university. However, what may be the um, challenge that we still encounter, even if or despite we have that consortium? Would there be imbalance as to the participation on the application of ORAN in your case?
Yes, for especially for the orans,
Not
in-
just on the farmers, on the other institutions, partner institutions.
other institution right now, because their background university is not in telecommunication. So basically, we focusing how we create the use case by the IoT, the AI. So we do collaboration with them to create about the use case for smart agricultures with the other university. But if we talking about the open run of the infrastructure solution, usually we have a collaboration with the industry. So Telkom University is the hub to between the university who create the use case and then with the industry who develop the infrastructure. So right now, this years, we collaborate all of them, the academia and also the industry, to put together and looking for the field trial, bring the internet solution with the industry, the operators, and then also bring the use case from the university. Not only university in Indonesia, but also university in Southeast Asia.
So even those test cases are already integrated in the curriculum. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Some of them integrated in curriculum, so the student can work mobile everywhere also while they create the application or the product, but we take it as a credit.
Under the student exchange program.
Yes,
if I'm not
in
mistaken.
mobility exchange program. There we call it internship also program.
Faculty immersion. they
Yeah,
have.
faculty program. And then also short program, like I mentioned, 3 months or 4 months. But there is also a long-term program. This is usually 6 until 1 year's program. They will be working in deep community lab as an internship program with our researchers or in others research center, because we have 5 research centers. So they also can join internship in that research center to produce or to create the application or product related to a solution for the farmers.
If I may ask, how long have you seen the return on investment on implementing ORAN with your systems?
Okay.
Because that's one, most probably that is one of the questions that universities or heads of other institutions, maybe a private institution, as to how much or when can they see the return on investment?
So I think this is still a long journey to answer that, but because not only the university who involved in this return, but also there is a policymakers, the government itself. So like the speakers before mentioned about the policy is still the lack and the biggest problem also about this problem. But we do understand that we cannot stuck over there. So right now, we focusing not only about the policy or about that regulation, but we can start in with the use case. So the use case by using the Open RAN. If you see how long, maybe 3 years from now, 4 years from now, we can see uh, what what we. I think maybe in 1 or 2 years, I can answer them. Right now, we are still developing.
Okay. But at least you mentioned already that even if you were not in that number of years, still you have given a lot of benefits that
Yes,
you have
yes.
already been enjoying.
Yeah, but still in research area because not yet to the commercialization. So we just putting together, working together, and the next step maybe that one. Yeah.
If we may have some questions before any questions pull from our audience. Going once, going twice. They're already tired. Yes, ma'am. Si ma'am muna. Can we have ma'am first?
What's the business of Bill Gates with Erie?
Um, I think that was 2018. No, it's not true, ma'am. But Bill Gates do visited Erie way back in, I remember, as far as I remember, 2018 or 2016, something like that. And because Bill Gates, or Bill Gates Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is donor of some of our projects, mostly focused in Africa. So that's why he is very interested on our on several varieties that we are being developed, especially those that are nutritious rice varieties, like iron rich, zinc rich varieties.
It's probably for the varieties of rice because we have good qualities of rice. Price, pricey rice. I'm kidding. Yes, sir.
Well, I did agriculture startup quite 5, 6 years before. One thing which I observed is getting acceptability or making the farmers use those technologies is a bigger challenge. So how do you motivate them to use that technology, and how do you teach them to use that technology is something interesting to know, because that's something they don't want to do.
For the case of Erie, there are the tools that we are developing. We mostly follow the approach of service provision model, or developing a business model for service providers, because there are some technologies that uh, the levels of farmers, they cannot really afford it. So you need to have someone, like for example the drone. The one, a big example is drone applications. So right now in the Philippines, I think there are only three service providers of drone technology for crop care application and seeding. So in this is a good example of how to scale out these technologies that are somehow very technical and uh, high in investments. So there are other things also, like for example, new technologies like what we call laser leveling, or this is the technology that uh, you use laser beam to have a uniform level of field. We also use the approach of service provision or service providers. So that's the business model that we create. And most of our projects, when we scale it out, we do the learning alliance approach. Like we gather all the stakeholders, even the policymakers, the farmers. We are the scientists and the private sectors. We talk together. They share all the information or on their side, and then from that we will formulate the strategies. So we call it learning alliance, or some, maybe in some universities they have other terms, but that's how we do it in most of the projects that we are doing.
Okay. In Indonesian case, we starting with the research. The result of the research, there is 4 important thing of digital equalities. The first one is the motivation. Even someone knows and use the internet or the connectivity, is there have a motivation to do, to use it for in the daily life. So we're talking about the farmers. They don't have usually the motivation, the first one. And then the second one, they don't have the materials. They don't have the gadget. They don't have limited infrastructures. And then the third one, they don't have a skill set. And the latest one is the usage. Even they have the 3 of them, they don't want to use it. So we do know about this. We already talking to the Ministry of Cooperation and SMEs about this problem. And then, so we have the program, like I mentioned, the Patriot Villages, the young talents. So after we create the new things, the innovation, this is going to be the long mentorship program. So maybe in the last presentation, if you can show. No. Okay, the last one. There's some pictures before this. Okay. Yes, this one. So we go with a new solution, bring this to some places, and we gather with all the farmers. We explain about the new solution and how this is will be reduce the cost, how this is also improve the income. But after that, we not just put the things or the tools, but also we take our student to stay there for almost 8 months. Even 8 months is not enough, because usually after our student go back to our university, they don't want to use it. It's too hard for them to use the things. And sometimes, or some of them mention to us that with the conventional stuff, is it enough for me and for the family? But we know that we can help the government starting with these community services. So this is going or already been 2 years program, but some of the area in Indonesia is improving the income. But the business model is we put it the young talent over there for almost 1 year's program.
So just to sum it up, really need patience and collaboration, as mentioned already, to be able to mainstream this idea to our community. If we may have some last words or wrap up words from our panelist, Sir Joseph.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Actually, I would like to take this opportunity to invite everyone because this coming October 16 to 19, Erie and the Department of Agriculture will be having the International Rice Congress in PICC. So October 16 to 19. So to know more about what we are doing in the world as the premier or the only Rice Research Institute, please to know more, you can visit the IRC 2023. So to meet all the stakeholders in the in the whole rice value chain. So we will be having several discussions, and maybe Ma'am will meet Bill Gates there. I don't know. So yeah, so IRC 2023.
But does that only involve those heirloom rice?
Not ma'am.
Produced.
It's all anything about rice, and we have a variety of. I mean, all the stakeholders, even the farmers, we will be inviting them. So policymakers, scientists, yeah. And we also have the trade shows in PICC. So October 16 to 19.
So have that marked already in your calendar, because we have actually great varieties of rice. Thank you, sir. Ma'am.
Okay. Once again, thank you so much for having me join in this event. This is I can meet a lot of people. I can learn also from all of you, and also I can meet with Iri. Maybe we can do the collaboration after this, and also maybe the invitation also for me to join the event. Okay, thank you so much. But I do understand that the collaboration, working together, synergy is very important. Not only maybe in the national industry, but we are in Southeast Asia. So you are the neighborhood of the Indonesia. So thank you so much. And I got a new family right now. Please welcome to Indonesia and come to our lab to Bandung. Is open to you 24 hours and 7 days. I will stay on the lab every day for you guys. Thank you so much.